Hi there, hello everyone. I'm Casey Campbell. I'm Gameloft's Managing Director for North America. I've been in the games industry now for over 17 years, and it's really gratifying to see how the industry has evolved, how it's become more inclusive, and how it's become more important to culture at large. And really excited to be at PlayFronts. I was here last year. This year is so much bigger and better than ever, so thanks for having us. We see this event as a validation of not only the importance of gaming as a way to bring people together from around the world to play together, but also for brands to connect with our audiences in a meaningful and purpose-driven way. So we've heard a lot about the gaming audience, about using authenticity to make a connection with gamers, and about what it means to have brands present and be represented properly within a games environment. So I'm going to be talking about the mobile gaming audience specifically, about the psychology behind gaming, and the state of mind that makes it such an effective medium for brands to make a meaningful connection with players. And also about the value of engagement and how mobile is unique in the gaming space for advertising, what makes for a quality advertising environment in order to maximize your budgets and your results with a digital audience. So to kick this off, to provide a little bit of background context, let's watch a short video here introducing the world's biggest premium mobile games advertising network, Combo. Great, that's Combo. So, oops, sorry. There we go. Oops, sorry, 1 second. Back. All right, so Gameloft is one of the world's biggest mobile games publishers. We've been around actually for over 22 years, if you can imagine that, back to the days of Java flip phones. We have a truly worldwide presence with offices and studios around the world. And our brand partnership business has been around for about 8 years. It grew very, very quickly. So now we've delivered thousands of successful campaigns within our games using standard units like video, but also custom interactive ads that were built specifically for our brand partners. So we saw very early on the value of a highly engaged mobile gaming audience. We've built the Combo network with like-minded premium publishers in order to expand our reach across those audiences, but also to fill gaps in our own games catalog and reach demographics that we weren't necessarily able to reach. So the last couple of years have seen some really interesting trends in gaming for brands, with advertisers exploring the metaverse, finding ways to authentically insert their brand into console and PC gaming environments. It's easy to forget sometimes that the massive popularity now of gaming and its importance in today's culture is largely thanks to mobile games, right? Which opened up our industry to new players beyond the stereotypes that we've had to live with for so long. I won't say at what level of the house they're gaming in, but I think we know what we're talking about. So thanks to free-to-play mobile games and easy touchscreen controls where you don't have to own an expensive console, you don't have to memorize any kind of button placement, now everyone is a gamer. So there are 3.2 billion players worldwide. Mobile is the most popular platform on which to play games. And now it reaches across generations from young kids to their grandparents, which would have been unheard of really not that many years ago. With Combo, Gameloft's extended network, updated number actually, so we now reach 1.8 billion players, 1.8 billion MAUs, which is around 56% of all gamers on the planet. So this graphic is based on data from the ESA and from Newzoo, and it nicely illustrates what percentage of people in each of these individual demographics are playing games. And this is across platform. So this is PC, console, mobile all together. And focusing on the US, we can see that we beat the global averages in most demographics when it comes to people spending time playing on mobile. And we're really overperforming if you look at players above the age of 45. So it's actually 74% of people between the age of 45 and 54 who are playing games on mobile. And you might be surprised to see that it's 65% of people between the ages of 55 and 64 who are now mobile gamers, unless you're on public transit all the time like I am, where you see people of all ages that are playing on their devices, which is actually really refreshing to see if you've been in the industry for quite a while. So adding a line here representing console gamers. And it really reinforces the popularity of video games in America, but we can see that it's mobile gaming that's far more pervasive. Offers a lot more flexibility. It offers a lot more reach when it comes to brand opportunities, right? So gaming as a brand channel has attracted a ton of attention in the last couple of years. It's largely due to increased time spent playing during the pandemic. This is what everybody was doing when they were trapped at home. But let's do away with the old stereotypes and misconceptions once and for all. Mobile gaming in particular is not niche at all. It's mainstream, it's popular, and you can reach many of the same audiences that you are trying to reach now through other digital channels. You can just reach them in a better way, a more effective way, and in a more positive state of mind for making those meaningful connections with the players. So as marketers are exploring opportunities in gaming, let's take a little peek under the hood, see what makes this medium special, see what makes it an excellent platform for connecting with an audience in a positive way and delivering a message that will stick. All right, so at Gameloft, we're a publisher. We make games. That's what we do first and foremost. And all game designers have one objective in mind, and that's to create positive feelings in the user so that the user will come back. In a lot of cases for us, that means coming back and playing and spending money, making in-app purchases. In the old days, it was to come back and start firing quarters, into the arcade game. But when you're playing a game, you're having an experience that's really unlike any other kind of medium when you're playing. And that's because it's an interactive experience. You're doing something. So there's a unique physical response that happens within your brain chemistry when you're playing a game. And here's sort of a little outline of that. So firstly, games create focus as endorphins flood the brain. And Jude from Bidstack beat me to this line yesterday, but he was making a really good point. So I'll say it also. If you picture yourself trying to have a conversation with somebody who's gaming versus watching TV or sort of casually browsing, I mean, it's almost impossible, right? So next, the brain releases oxytocin. So oxytocin is a neurotransmitter, and it creates feelings of trust and empathy within the user, which also creates positive associations. The brain also engages the hippocampus, which stimulates recall. So the player's remembering what they're seeing on the screen as they're playing. And lastly, your brain's way of rewarding you if you're successful. If you beat a boss, if you win a race, if you get a reward, your brain is flooded with endorphins, right? So this is the pleasure chemical. So here you have a player. Their brain's on fire, their brain's flooded with dopamine, they're recalling what they're seeing. This is a really good time to deliver a message if you're an advertiser. And good game designers will understand that any advertising that you place within a game, and we've heard this today, it can't be intrusive. It can't be interrupting the experience. But when you show the ads after the player has beaten that boss or has won that race, you can take advantage of their elevated frame of mind. You can create a positive association using what's going on in their brain chemistry and create that positive association between the player and the brand that they're seeing in our gaming environment. So it's funny, we often feel like gaming right now is receiving the same sort of attention that social media started getting when it emerged as an advertising channel, right, many years ago. Of course, gaming is a lot less centralized. There are a lot more diverse opportunities that are available in gaming. But I think, as we all know, there's been recently some backlash against social media. There's definitely been some disruption in social. And it's worth considering the state of mind of our audience is considerably better when they're playing a game, because they're doing it for fun. They're there for fun. There's no social pressure. There's no baggage. They're there to enjoy themselves, right? And you can see it in this Tapjoy comparison when they ask the two various audience, how do you feel? How do you feel when you're consuming this media? So almost all of the positive indicators are on the side of mobile gaming. So this audience is more relaxed, they're more engaged, and they're just generally happier to be doing what they're doing when they're in our environment. Further to this, the mobile gaming audience tends to be ad-friendly because we've built our games economies around rewarding their attention. So rather than blending into the background, even worse than that, interrupting their experience, like say with a pre-roll video, the best mobile gaming campaigns will offer up some sort of reward, some sort of in-game currency for that user's attention. That's if they choose to engage with the ad. So as a result, we see in the Statista study, 77% of gamers would watch an ad in exchange for in-app rewards or some kind of in-app currency. And our own engagement rates are pretty similar to this, sometimes a little higher, sometimes a little lower. And our completed engagement rates, for example, with video, are in the high 90% consistently. And now even the most premium mobile games these days are usually free to play. And they monetize through in-app purchases. And our players are actually conditioned to understand that they get a premium experience, they get a fun experience, they get to download and play for free, but there will be advertising. We reward their attention to the advertising if they choose to engage. And as long as that's done in a way that's sensitive and doesn't interrupt their play, then everybody can win. So when you have a positive, open state of mind, and you have a respectful ads experience, then that positive brand association translates directly into action. This ad colony study shows that consumers playing a mobile game are more likely to purchase what they saw advertised than on Google, Facebook, or YouTube. And there's another Newzoo report that shows that 1 in 4 mobile gamers have actually purchased something that they saw advertised in a game that they were playing. All right. Oh, there's a little kitty. So incentivized ad units can be used to drive engagement, to drive sales, but this is just another indicator of how gaming environments work differently from other media. And when we offer rewards, it's because we're giving something that the audience can use that's valuable to them. And I loved it when Zoe pointed this out in her keynote yesterday, but our audience has agency. They're actually interacting with the media rather than being passively fed the content. So mobile gaming is different from other channels. It has advantages. But the way that a marketer can approach it actually isn't so out of scope with how we handle other digital channels and how other digital campaigns work. So if you're looking at getting into gaming, it can be a little bit intimidating, right? What does time spent in the sandbox mean for a brand? I mean, who knows? What's the value of eyeballs on an in-game billboard? There's been a ton of progress in this over the last year, thanks largely to the good work of the IAB and a lot of the presenters that were here this week. But there's still work to be done in educating brands and agencies about the value of in-game native KPIs and what that means for them. So you can think of mobile gaming as the low-hanging fruit because our campaigns are immediately quantitative. The KPIs from mobile game campaigns are typically what you're doing right now in other channels. So there's standard stuff like it's engagement, completed engagements, it can be CTR. And yes, CTR, because most ads in mobile game campaigns are clickable. So this is direct response, and it's direct response with an advantage. Because the ads are tactile, they're on a touch screen, right? So the player is physically interacting with the advertising message rather than just viewing it passively. And when we build out playable ads, minigame ads, that are opt-in, and they pop up as an interstitial, and you can either choose to play or not to play. When the user chooses to play, now they're actually playing with the brand's creative. So now you're not just talking to them, you're actually interacting, you're having fun, you're doing something with that audience. And of course, those minigame ads are rewarded on completion, so they get something for it. So if you're working with a publisher or a premium gaming network like Combo, the games are also age and gender gated, so you can directly target the demographic that you're going after. And you can actually even choose the specific games that are the best fit for your brand and where your ads will appear. All of our ad units, the videos, the interstitials, the mini games, as I said, they're implemented in a way that's not intrusive to the gaming environment, doesn't interrupt anybody. And as we've seen, there's a broad demographic interest in mobile games. So it's giving you more campaign options than perhaps some other gaming platforms. There are no issues with ad blockers. And finally, we use industry standard ratings when it comes to viewability. So you don't have to learn anything new when it comes to viewability. So Gameloft was the first mobile games publisher to actually implement Moat's SDK. What we verified really quickly was that we're about 43% higher than the mobile web benchmark for viewability. So our video in-game ads are around 96.8% viewable versus the benchmark for the mobile web at 67.9%, significantly better. There's nothing below the fold because there is no fold. The mobile games are played always full screen. And the age gating means that we're easily compliant with legislation like COPA, like GDPR in Europe, for example. Mobile gaming environments are typically a more controlled experience, so you don't have to worry about brand safety issues like you do with some other gaming platforms that rely on user-generated content. Okay, so I'm making the case for the effectiveness of media campaigns in mobile games. But we're invested in raising the comfort level of marketers. We want to advance the conversation when it comes to what a quality ads environment looks like in the context of gaming. So as a publisher, we run surveys all the time with our audience. We've got a wealth of first-party data when it comes to demographics, socioeconomics, purchase intent, personal interest, this sort of stuff, right? So we built a study using an approach inspired by the RCQ methodology. Now, RCQ stands for reach, cost, and quality. It was first documented by a guy named Thomas Bauer and his two co-authors with awesome Nordic names that I'm definitely not going to get right. Tjark Front, Ingeborg Hegsted. Wrong. But anyway, it was in their book called Retail Marketing and Branding. So we're using this method in comparing media on a like-for-like basis across those performance indicators, reach, cost, and quality using standard KPIs, using Oracle Moat measurement data. I think that reach and cost are pretty well understood. I think we all get it. They're standardized. So we're going to focus on quality and what it means to have, the best environment, the best creative method for achieving real ROI in a digital campaign. So it's a synergy between the context and the creative. Okay, so for this study, quality means that positive moment, right? That all-important positive moment and its impact. And we measured and benchmarked in-game media versus the mobile web and desktop media. And we looked at standard industry KPIs. We developed an immersive score. You can see on the y-axis on the left here, right? And so that's to show the quality of the context, the level of user immersion, and that's considering Moat in-view time, Moat screen real estate, so the percentage of the screen that's taken up by the ad's pixels, and Moat in-view rate. And we measure the quality of the creative using the engagement score, which is on the x-axis in the bottom, and that's actually just it's a score that we assign based on the click-through rate. So here we can see how advertising in mobile game environments, particularly with media like video and display, it clearly outperforms mobile and desktop web with higher quality, meaning more immersion, okay, through high viewability and through full screen ads, and also higher engagement through CTR. It's pretty clear. So that was step one, determining where to find that all-important positive moment where we could reach this audience in the most effective way. So step two, we looked at first-party data from some of our own campaigns across some of our key verticals. This graphic shows the results as an increase in brand awareness and brand sentiment as a percentage, right? So, on average, we were able to raise awareness by 12%, sentiment by 11%. And this is because we're bringing a combination of high attention, a positive state of mind, and engagement in a high-quality environment to do that. And we combine them here as brand likability. Okay, so lastly, we took the quality score based on the immersivity, the engagement, and we took the brand likability score, and a new metric emerged. And for the purpose of this white paper, which I'm going to put the QR code up here for a sec so you can take a look at it, but we've modestly dubbed this the Gameloft quality score. And it shows that by creating the positive moment for reaching the audience and then using in-game media that's proven to increase awareness, to increase brand sentiment, this is how we cross that bridge, and we can quantify how that synergy happens, how the context and the creative work together in order to build a more positive audience response in a gaming environment to the brand's message. Okay, so sorry about that. That was a lot to cover in a little bit of time. We do feel this is a valuable method that marketers can use to evaluate where they can get the most impact for their ad spends. We've explained the study in this white paper. You can download it via the QR code. You can take a look in more detail at the first-party data that we use to determine this ROI. The takeaways are that gaming is a lean-in platform. It's got unparalleled engagement between the user and the media that they're consuming. The games only exist to create feelings of fun with their users and within our players. Mobile gaming is accessible to advertisers right now through premium channels like Gameloft's Combo Network, through working with other premium publishers. You can see tangible results right away. You don't have to relearn that much stuff in order to make a successful campaign. So using these KPIs, we can see how the same media overperforms in mobile games versus other digital channels. So I want to end on a fun note because mobile games are fun. Here are a few examples of some of the branded mini games we've built for our brand partners, right? So we can run standard stuff like video, or we can custom create these mini games. Please, if you'd like, download them via QR code and give them a try. We actually have many studios around the world, but we have one studio in particular. It's over 200 very talented designers, developers, artists who are only working on creating branded content for our partners. So these mini games are small, snack-sized, fun little experiences. They're opt-in, they're rewarded, they're about 30 to 45 seconds. And at the end, there's an end screen with a strong call to action and a replay button, right? So only the first playthrough is rewarded, but we can see up to 30% replays, re-engagements, just because that player spent a few seconds having fun with the brand. And we feel that that's very, very valuable. So if you're exploring games channels for your brand, then a premium mobile games network like Combo, it's accessible, it's safe, okay? It has demo targeting, it has tons of first-party data, and the same digital KPIs that you're using right now. And the success is quantifiable. So there's an interactive fun factor here that can't be matched on any other digital platform. The Gameloft team is here. We're looking forward to talking with you further, and it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.